Okay, hello. Oops. Today I am going to do a oracle pull from a runic deck that I have and a tea reading. So I split my runic oracle deck into two decks to keep the runes separate from the deities. So you'll see. I'm feeling lots and lots of energy. I'm going to be calling in. I already did a connection before this, so I know who I'm calling in. I'm going to go ahead and call in my ancestors to come forward to do this reading with me. Okay, I just got very clearly you don't need that. So we're jumping right into the cards today. Take a drink of my tea. Maybe I can move it up here until I get the cards laid out. I feel a lot of energy, a lot of exciting energy. Okay, the deck's split on Odin and Tyr. I got that means something. So there's definitely brotherhood between the two, a family, but it's not always biological family, family of friendship. Okay. So we have Hati and Skull, Verdandi, and Thor. And Odin's on the bottom again, which is also Journey, the Wanderer. And I've been very much a stable homebody for a few years. Hati and Skull to me represents a lot of fear. They are the wolves that in the mythologies chase the sun and the moon. That's why we have day and night, and the lunar and solar eclipse cycles in the full moon cycle. So looking here, I'm pretty sure that's Othala and Dagas. So Dagas is a gentle new beginning, which can be represented, well, one would think the sun because it's bright and warm, but to me it's the moon of how the monthly cycle gradually changes. It's not very sudden, whereas like a solar eclipse is very sudden, and it's very short. Othala can be ancestors and ancestral property, so the home space. So to me, that's a very stable home. But there's also, with Hati and Skull specifically, like they're challenging that going around it. So it could be some challenges in the home space, some challenges preventing this gentle new beginning. And this is the desire position, so it can be anxieties and stuff that are stopping us. I want this gentle new beginning and starting an ancestral, environment of my own, and something is getting in the way. Mocking stands out, fear of judgment, patience, definitely. As for hate and hunger, it can feel like that with anxiety out in public. Some people are just very vocal about their hatred of others and very loud about being judgmental, and it's up to us to speak up about those things, or we just stay quiet and let them consume all the good energy and turn it into something it's not. Okay. In the resistance position, we have Wardandi. She's the thread, so out of the three Norns, she's the thread. I don't remember exactly, like there's a specific word, but I can never remember it. Like I know schooled is obligation, and Erd isn't she like the past, present, and future? So she would be, where Dondi very much be the present. Definitely still something affecting. It's very similar to the first card with mystic influences, ancestral energies, past lives. Where Dondi's the thread, so she's all about weaving what's old into something new for the future. But as we go, our thread is woven, so it's not about sitting and doing nothing until it's complete. She can't weave a thread that has no energy behind it, right? By doing actions now, there's energy behind the thread now. And I did call in my ancestors, so no surprise that they are showing up in these cards. It can also mean that the ancestors are guiding me. I'm the one that's putting the brakes on out of fear of negativity. And then in the outcome, we have protection, strength, and directness. So I'm definitely going on a path of getting stronger, strength. I see Othala on Thor's arm here. I know whenever I watch these videos back, it's kind of hard to see the cards. They're reflective. Not fearing the storms, still going out, being direct in how one speaks, staying on course. Being a self-protector too. Sometimes, I feel unsafe if I don't have another person that I know with me, even though it's just a comfort. So there's definitely a lesson here for me to learn how to provide that for myself. Okay. So Thurisaz is natural destructive forces and protection from them. This rune very much requires focus and directness because it can be very destructive if misused, which definitely to me goes with Wardandi, with what I'm manifesting. I can describe the thread of the Norns as manifesting, the bones of what you want. Well, that's Erd does the bones, but where Dondi gets the details in there, or more like the big part of the quilt, and Scold does the tiny details. That's why she's obligation. Those are the things that have to happen. Whereas where Dondi leaves it a little broad, but it's still, we still have to think of our direct intent and what we want, because pretty soon that's what's going to be woven into our quilt, basically. Yep. Anzus, so what's crossing me is, well, my situation is very much my voice, and the blue and the yellow here, I've talked about that a lot, with my throat and my solar plexus being a big, they're blocked, and through action they're unblocking, which can be painful and very uncomfortable. And I definitely put myself on pause this week. I gave myself a way out, and maybe my ancestors would have liked to see me push forward, but there's always next week. And I have to turn next week into this week. So speaking, directness of speaking as well. This is also Anzus' Odin's rune. I'm just getting very much like a strong masculine voice that vibrates. It can be very intimidating. So I'm getting that image. Okay, in the foundation we have one Joe, which contentment, so being in a comfort zone. I want to look at my actual notes though. Yeah. One Joe can be joy felt in social settings, contentment. So being a hermit for a while can make that hard to, I used to do it, and now it's hard. Okay, manas, what it means to be human, intellectual thinking, definitely overthinking for me, which I really already spoke about with anxiety and fear of judgment here. Wanting to move forward and then talking myself out of it, basically. Okay. Not these. I thought that I have that written as a different way. Naughties is how I have it written, but I guess it could be TH. I'm not sure the correct pronunciation. So this card is a state of helplessness leaves you in need. So what do I need, really having to follow through on my heart? And I'm getting the yellow again, which the solar plexus is right under the heart. So there's definitely this heat coming up into my heart, and a push. It's a good heat. It's definitely uncomfortable the more that I put it off. But it's a good heat that is rumbling, opening up my heart space. Well, my heart space is already open, but it's like rumbling it. I don't know how to explain the feeling that I'm getting in my chest. Excitement. Maybe I mistake excitement for anxiety, polarity and all that. They can be the same thing they can be on the same line, and one's anxiety and one's excitement, and it just depends on where you tune into this line. So Willow, the sun rune. So it's a well-lit path No more. That kind of came out in the cards the other day with the sun card coming out of moon, out of confusion. But I got to get there first. Like, it's not, this card is very dark. And then by going through this unknown, even when I'm scared, it'll brighten up. Have to take a chance for myself. So I didn't pull Sana here, but with the sun in the Hati and Skull card and Soilo, I'm being guided to talk about Sana. You know, Sana is the female energy of the sun. She rises every single day, which when I was first reading Norse mythology, I thought that sounded more like masculine energy, but it actually does make sense with science, how we know the solar system to be, where the sun is in the middle and the planets go around her. She's not moving, she's attracting. And all of this is flowing around her, towards her. Which can also be a shift in perspective, right? New knowledge that changes something that I once thought. So Berkana and Uruz. So change in environment is going to help strengthen my personal power, my solar plexus. A change in environment is needed for it to awaken. I already know that. I'm fearing it for sure. Berkana is, to me, it's a card of resilience, but it's also a divine feminine card. The resilience of the woman, of the mother bear. Renewal, a new start. Coming out of hibernation after a lot of towers, a lot of shadow work. Ready for a new season. Isa in the hope and fear position here, to me, is the timing. Is it going to be fast? Is my situation going to change fast enough with how I need it to? Is it going to be slow? Am I too slow? Am I out of practice? It's also, do I stay in the ice? Do I stay frozen? Or do I allow the ice to melt? And the ice is already melting. I already allowed this. I already asked for this. That's what all this heat is. In the heat of spring, when the bears come out of hibernation. So I asked for it because I need it. Okay, I'm getting that I'm missing something. That I have the power to put on the brakes, so I have the power to hit the gas. It's my own timing. Oh, that can be where the fear comes in, because it's so easy to say, well, I'm doing my best with the circumstances I have, which is true. And at the same time, we have to take a little accountability for our actions. So Parath, it's a gamble card. It's this rune is the cup that you would put dice in to play a game. So it's taking a chance, not entirely knowing the outcome. However, no matter what the outcome, I'm going to be stronger for it. There's also a bee on a flower here, which can be pollination, which is, fertility, creating something new. And I've been having gardens come up a lot. And I was going to go today to a local garden, but I talked myself out of it because I wasn't feeling good and I needed to rest, and which I did need to rest. Um, However, the rain, it's been raining all week and it did not rain today at all, so it really would have been a good day to go. So I definitely did not roll the dice. I hit the brakes and, listened to my body, decided I needed to rest. Oh, I never noticed that there's a woman's hands here on her belly too, which is the same idea. Mother bear, creating something new, a new life, which for me right now would be creating a new life for myself that is based on a foundation of my interests and not fear of resources, but my interest and trusting that the resources are flowing to me and there is abundance on the path. Mm. Oh, I forgot to drink my tea this whole time. It's interesting to me that I keep getting Thor when I pull this deck because I have an ancestor that it feels like a protector. It feels like he feels like a masculine energy and he stands behind me and he's really warm, which is good. So I also want to talk about the crossing part here. Um, Overthinking and new pathways, direction. So that's come up since the first video that I've done for my video journal of my human expanding, my mind, thought processes expanding. And with one Joe and Nod, he's here. It's, what do I really want? Which mentally, I have no idea. Feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. But my heart knows I have to turn my ear to it every day and make an effort to take a chance on my heart. I do feel that I am causing a little self-destructiveness because of my fear and my lack of precision to take my chance. It's like a jump in and jump out. I'm gonna do it. Oh no, right now is just not the time. So, which sometimes it really isn't, but it can be. Just like here, what my ancestor said, you can hit the brakes, you can hit the gas. So it's not about necessarily beating myself up over deciding to rest and put it off, though there is an accountability there where I can, if I have the power to hit the brakes, that means I have the power to hit the gas. And why am I hitting the brakes? Is it out of fear, or is it because there's actually an obstacle in the road? So my ancestors are definitely holding me accountable. I don't know if anyone watching works with their ancestors, but for me, they're not mean. However, they're not gonna just say, "Oh, you did your best, good job." That's not how mine talk to me. It's not how it feels. They're proud when we're proud, so it's not a judgment either. It's not a. I don't think that it's about fearing, angering ancestors. They just want us to live up to what we set out to do, and sometimes we don't remember what we wanted to do with our life, and we get caught up in the stress of it all, work stress, family stress, and we totally forget that we used to have interests and desires and dreams. And that's when towers happen and knock it all down. And then, that's just as confusing, but it'll rebuild. Just as the moon rebuilds, just as the sun comes back out, it'll rebuild. Better and stronger. I'm drinking jasmine tea. Okay. So, don't know if you can see this, but on the side of the cup, near the base, it looks almost like a ship, which is like travel by water energy to me. So, and when you travel by boat, I'm not specific. Like, I don't know the specifics of travel by ship, but I'm getting that you don't really know if there's going to be what the waves are going to be like until you're there. And you got to take a chance anyway, ready to take on whatever happens, and just be along for the experience. This almost in the bottom looks like a scythe to me. To, whoops, I don't know if you can see it. It almost looks like a scythe to me. Which would be used to harvest, to cut back what's overgrown. Maybe some manual labor would be good for me to get my body moving and regain some strength. I see kind of a triangle here too on this left side. There's like a dot at the top and then a line at the bottom. There's no lines on the side, but I'm still getting triangle. Oh, well, maybe from the towers the sides came off, and so now from the foundation I got to build up to the point, but the point's already there. Floating. So to me that almost means, this path that I'm so nervous to take, universally I've already taken it, and it already works out one way or another to that point. And sometimes it's walking two paths at the same time that help build across until I get there. It's not always just a boop, boop, and now we're done. Ship's really cool. I really hope you can see that. Voyage, venture out. It also looks like a steamboat, like it has steam coming up. I don't really know much about steamboats. They burn natural resources, well, fossil fuels, I think, which technically is natural, but it's not the best. So there could be something to look at there, with the waste that I contribute to the planet and the water specifically. Okay. I think that's all I have. Is there anything else? I got, we are proud of you and you got this. So, always feels nice. Well, I would like to thank my ancestors for joining me today. I release you. Thank you for this reading. Your energy goes back with you. My energy stays with me. And to anyone that has stuck through this, thank you for watching.